What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Predecessor Protocol. I'm your host, SecretSalsa. Next to me, I've got our co-host, Hasp. Hasp, how are you doing today?
Doing great, man. Excited for tonight. Got two awesome guests and great patch to talk.
100%, 100%. Next to him, we got Joey, Soulre4p3r. How's it going?
Hello. Going well. How about yourself?
It's going great. It's going great. It's been a pretty nice Saturday here. And Bengalmac, last but not least, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing phenomenal. We're having a great time.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So today we're going to be recording episode 74. I should have said that in the intro, but I missed it. We're just going to be talking all things about patch 1.8. It brought in Akeron, it brought in map changes, it brought in a bunch of skins, it brought in a new battle pass. So there's lots of stuff to kind of talk about. But first, I kind of want to get to know you guys a little bit. I mean, we've all talked and hung out and, you know, whatever. Like, we know each other, but the audience doesn't, right? So we'll start with Joey here. I kind of want to ask you some questions here. Let me just get these pulled up. Where did those go? Okay, we kind of asked these to like a lot of our creators and guests and stuff like that, just because we like to know like everyone's kind of viewpoint as to where the game is standing at the moment. So starting with you, Soul, what do you think Omeda is doing well in Predecessor's development?
I think more recently they've at least making like actual changes to the game, which has been very positive. I think that's reflected in like player count and overall like sentiment for the game. Or like some stuff is like a little too much, or like needs to be toned in the following patch or something like that. But for the most part, I think it's definitely been moving in the direction.
Yeah, big swings, big changes, just stuff for us to test out. I 100% agree. And I'm going to shoot it over to Mac. Mac, same question. What do you think Predecessor is doing well in their development?
I mean, me personally, kind of same thing, Joey. I mean, I like the changes that they're making so far. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but they're putting their own spin on things. They're adding map changes, but just a little bit of different kind of tweak to it, like mid game map changes, adding the river objectives and stuff like that, as well as I think all of their original heroes have kind of nailed it. I mean, I've liked every single one of them. There's not one that I see and I go, wow, that's a weird champ, or man, that thing is really clunky. But all their original champs I love.
Yeah, I agree. I really think they hit like they kind of designed pretty fun kits with Argus, with Zaris, Kira as well. I think they've done a pretty good job with their original heroes, and they've definitely tried to highlight them. But I 100% agree. Now kind of the inverse of that. Soul, what do you think is the biggest pain point in Predecessor? What do you think Omeda needs to improve on the most?
There's like a few things that I think specifically would be really helpful. Matchmaking adjustments would be a big one, especially towards the high level. Slightly better like new player retention systems, like being able to create a custom item build outside the game so that you can set stuff up before the game starts and then have auto build. Other than that, and then just like slightly like maybe not even faster development, because they've been like 1.4, 1.6, 1.8 have all been really good. So like that pace is fine. I think as long as they maintain patches like that, the patch pace is fine. But I think those two are like some of the more pain points for them is like matchmaking, new player onboarding. But I think they just look at them from the wrong direction, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So when you say matchmaking on the high end, like not everybody is up in Paragon like you or Mac. What specifically do you mean by that? Like just like people being brought up too far from the lower ranks to fill your queues, or do you care to go into that in a little more detail?
Or like there's like good people in the queue, and then it will just like split lobbies for like no reason, whether it's intentional or not, or whatever the reason is. There are good people that are in the same game together that aren't in the same game in the following, when all of those players are higher elo than whatever game.
I see. So the same 10 people will queue up for a second game, and instead of those same 10 people being put into that game, you'll get 5 platinum diamond players or whatever.
Yeah. And like, you see a couple new players, that's like one thing, but when it's like a good lobby and you like, I can see these people on my friends list in queue, and I know that they should be in this queue because they're like top 20, top 25 players. Yeah. But then they're in a queue with, 3 other platinum players, a couple diamonds, and then I have a couple platinum players, diamonds. It doesn't make any.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense a lot. I can see why that would be an issue, and I mean, for someone who plays the game, like I don't know, like what you stream like 4 6 hours a day or something like that. I could understand how that would get frustrating very quickly and kind of become a big pain point for you. So kind of same question over to Mac again. What do you think Omeda needs to improve on? What do you think Predecessor is lacking right now?
Man,
Where to start?
not necessarily that. I'm just not smart enough for that kind of question, you know. But I will say, I think matchmaking definitely. I like some aspects to it. One thing, maybe I'm just in the alone here, but you know, whenever they do the rank reset or whenever they knock people back, I feel like instead of knocking people back 5 whole ranks, instead of you could just do the 500 VP,
Yeah.
and that way those players that are, you know, they grinded, you know, 2000 VP in a Paragon, they could still maintain that high elo status, and that way that grind to get back into that is not such a dog days. I know for me, like whenever the rank reset happens, I just like I wait a couple days. I'm like, you know what, these are gonna be some goober lobbies. I'm gonna have some interesting folks on my team. I'm gonna pray that I get, you know, a gamer or two on my team, but they always end up on the other team, and so I wait a couple days for it to smooth out, and then I hope for the best.
Yeah, and that kind of bridges into like talking about the patch itself. The ranked reset obviously kind of throws everyone into a melting pot because you can only go down so far for some people. So like for someone who's me, who's like a mid diamond player, I got bumped down to gold 3, and I've been kind of fighting my way, or gold 2. Sorry, I ended up plat the other day, but it is definitely a very diverse set of players in the queue right now, and I think it's easy for people to get frustrated and to blame systems and stuff when it's kind of like everyone's just in the melting pot and is just doing the best it can with it. But I get what you're. Hasp, do you have any questions for them?
I mean, just really just kind of echo of the rank reset, especially because like I play super casually, have a lot 60, 70 something. So like after season 0, I was in plat, and then I got bumped down to like silver or something like that, and then I didn't really play a whole lot this past split, and so I'm back. I went back down to bronze 3 basically, but then I'm queuing in, and obviously I'm not great at the. I'm definitely not a bronze player, but like I'm still getting queued in with like low plats, high golds, and stuff like that. Which honestly, I say what you will. I guess like the system is working in that sense as far as the internal MMR, because it would be pretty unfortunate if I'm playing against like true blue, like bronze players, like new bronze players or something, and then I just completely dumpster them. But at the same time, what's the purpose of the ranked reset? Like, why not just leave me at like gold or something, you know?
Yeah, I get that. It's definitely just a lot of people. There's just a lot of people, right? So it's a lot of different games and stuff like that. Um, yeah, so I mean, I think kind of without further ado, we can kind of talk about patch 1.8. Huge patch, lots of stuff changed. Obviously, we got Akeron, the new hero. We got a few new map changes, obviously, with the new buffs being the seedlings, and I'm completely blanking on the name. What is the second stage of the seedling again?
Shaper.
The Shaper. Yes, thank you. Just
Attack
like
shaper.
Attack Shaper. New little neutral buffs for people to fight over, and I'm kind of curious to see like what you guys think of those. But I think what we'll do is we'll start with Akeron himself, and kind of just see like what you guys think about the hero. I haven't played him a crazy amount. I played him a few games, but obviously slamming ranked because of the reset. You don't want to play a hero that you're completely new on and you have no skill in presenting. So I've seen a few people play him, and he looks very tanky. He kind of seems like he plays like Kwong a little bit with the items that he builds as well, being Magnify and some of the other stuff. But I'm kind of curious to see like what you guys think should be built on him. So Soul, do you like? Let's say we put him in the off lane, right? Because that's kind of his main role. Do you have any suggestions for like first couple items to build?
I think build a magical bruiser, like magnify into either physical defense or magical defense, depending on the matchup.
Okay.
And then like HP your items pretty much very similar to Kwong, except you do want to build like at least a couple defense items because you are like a big body. You're not gonna be able to really avoid stuff like Kwang
Yeah.
Ten, so you need a little bit of actual hard defense, but very
Yeah.
similar like hybrid style.
That's totally fair. Yeah, you kind of get the crunch effect where you're just like, you want to be able to do all this damage, but you're also so freaking big that it's going to be hard for you not to just take your entire health bar in a fight sometimes, and you eat every piece of CC. So I 100% agree with that. Mac, do you have any recommended builds? I don't know if you've played Akeron very much in the last couple days, but if you have a recommendation, what would it be?
I think World Breaker is really good on him. He has a lot of health already, and he's got a really big mana pool as well. I think World Breaker is really solid on him. It does a lot of that take that kind of like that tick damage, especially with his ultimate. I think it's kind of a natural item for him. But I would say probably 2 to 3 kind of Mage Bruiser items, and then depending on how fed or not fed you are, some nice armor or magic resist at the end to make sure you're really tanky. I kind of like running True Silver on him as well. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
Gives you a little bit of shield, and then it kind of gives you an oh crap button. Maybe I'm taking a little too much damage here. I can push that, give myself a little bit of shield, and maybe try to set up a play here. But I like World Breaker True Silver on him a lot, and then some really nice tank items at the end.
Yeah. I did see someone in my ranked game. I played one game of ranked last night, and I had a apologize for Hasp technical difficulties. Stuff happens. That's why this episode was a little delayed on live. But I did see someone. Yes, we can still hear you. Stream doesn't seem to be able to though. Let me check here. So yeah, I've seen people build World Breaker on that champ, or World Breaker and the other item, True Silver Bracelet that you were mentioning. And it seems like it's like I understand the concept. Like looking at it, it feels so wrong to see an Akeron with True Silver Bracelet. But also, I mean, it's 4 days after the patch. Like everyone's still trying to figure this out. Not everyone's slamming IT all the time trying to figure it out. There we go. Welcome back, Hasp. But yeah, I think that could be kind of fun too. Now, do you recommend World Breaker? Like, obviously not first, but this is we're talking like third item ish,
Yeah.
or
For me, I've been liking kind of like magnified True Silver, World Breaker, and then kind of depending on what I need.
True Silver second. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm playing Nitro, so
Yeah,
obviously
you're
my
just
build
you're just
path
you're just trying it.
and Golden come is a little bit. I mean, I've even tried an Overseer on it for funsies.
Yeah.
One thing I want to try just because like I like to do dumb stuff is he's got a really large mana pool, so I want to see how like an Alchem goes on him, just because you're converting a lot of that mana into magical power. So because he already has that large mana pool, I want to test that out just to see how it feels. But
Yeah.
I feel like you could go World Breaker third or fourth. I like True Silver a bit earlier on him, just so that way he gets more value out of his ult, especially with almost like every single character having some sort of root or CC in the game. So I like it a little earlier in the build personally. That's just anecdotally.
Yeah. Okay. And kind of building on the builds. How are you guys feeling about his dual scaling? Talking about like how he scales both physically and magically. Obviously it seems like most of the builds are magic based, but I have seen people go basilisk on him, or just like kind of build him like a greystone or something like that. Do you think that those builds are kind of viable? We'll start with you again, Soul.
I think that's just like the auto build default in jungle. I believe sets you at basilisk. I do think like
Interesting.
magnify is like a much better starting item.
Yeah.
Being able to get like the omni vamp and then the extra damage on your run is way more valuable. I think if you're gonna max at 3, like you can go basilisk, not as bad, but I think maxing the 1 is definitely the better way to go, and why mag like but not like the worst build.
Okay.
He does have like infinite scaling when you execute people with his ult. So like even if you do go physical, you can still get like magic power from that and still end up scaling regardless. So like
I see.
Not that bad, but I do think magical is a better option.
Okay. That makes sense. And sorry, forgive me for not being a Smite player. When you say 3, you mean his RMB, his bite attack or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And Mac, do you kind of have similar feelings towards that? Or, I mean, obviously with your builds that you were talking about, it seems like magical is kind of the way to go. Do you think that there's a spot for maybe like a Greystone style build or something like that?
I mean, I like how there's dual scaling because it adds a lot of build diversity, and that's one
Yeah.
thing that I like that they're kind of introducing to the game is a lot more hybrid scaling champs. It's not like just Crunch anymore, or maybe even Wraith. It adds a bit of kind of diversity to what you can slam on the champ. It also makes you pay attention a little bit more to what your enemy might be building on that champ, because everyone might run magical, but because he has the physical scaling, you're playing into him, you start building magical armor, and you look up and you're like, oh wait, he's building basilisk, he's building overlord. I think depending on what your team comp is, kind of calls for what you want to build on him. But I think his most efficient is the magical build, just because, in my personal opinion, I think magical items are just better than physical items in terms of kind of the magical bruiser items.
Yeah. And I could kind of agree with that, it being with the state of like defense items too. Like I feel like we've been saying for a couple weeks now at least that like magic armor doesn't really exist that much in this game. And obviously there is items for it, but they're just not as good as the physical armor item. So I totally get that. Why going that path just might be better, because you don't see people building Cuirass. Like I haven't seen any build crystalline Cuirass for a long time. Same with like sort of Tainted Bastion, and maybe this will kind of make people build more of it because of like his lifesteal and his kit and stuff like that. So we will see. Hasp, do you have any questions for them about Akeron?
Okay. I'm not 100,000% sure that I got like all the numbers right and everything like that, but just brief overview of the things that are inherent in his kit. So with his passive at max stacks, he gets like 25% ability haste. Again, it only lasts for like 10 seconds, or 20 if you go the augment. That basically turns it into a 100-second cooldown.
Yeah.
You also get like 18% damage mitigation whenever you're in the awakened state. He gets up to a 40% slow on his fireball. He has a 35% slow zone with the web lash if it's fired on the ground, and it also roots the person that it hits, and has a knock-up on a wall jump. He gets like 15% physical power scaling on with the armor shred on his RMB, plus he heals. His ult has a 10% health execute. He heals whenever he bites as well, and he can also cast his abilities during his ult. It's basically Baron Samedi's ult from Smite, if anyone's played Smite. I know Soul has, but
Yep.
Baron couldn't cast any abilities when he was channeling his ult, and this is a channel, yet he can still dump the rest of his kit whenever he's pulling people in and doing massive damage if he pulls them in enough to do a bite. Is this like the most bloated kit ever, or am I just crazy? Soul, what are your thoughts?
I think it's just like, I think the actual like function of the kit is not necessarily that bloated, but I think the fact that it scales off literally everything, like HP, armor, even like getting haste gives him extra fireballs on his one. Like literally every stat he scales off of, while also having a stacking mechanic and execute mechanic is just like a lot. The actual like kit itself, I don't think it's currently that insane. Also, I don't think you can cast ability during his ult, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm fairly certain you can. I was messing around with it. I haven't played him in a game, but
I would have to check in the
played him in
practice,
a
but
bot
I don't
match,
think
but-
you can. I've played him a few times. I don't think, maybe I'm just a bot and so you could.
It'd be a good thing to find out, because it would be very strong if you could. Like I said, I haven't played a whole lot of them either, so
Yeah, I only messed around with him in an AI match just to play around with his kit, but I'm like 90% sure I was able to cast the Q and the RMB.
I feel like if that is the case, it's probably a bug, maybe. But I feel like a bug, like I feel like that's way too strong to be able to have like all those abilities.
I feel like I would have heard about that if.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's totally fair.
I feel like I remember in a match, I think I heard that you could do that, and I think specifically one time I ulted just to see if I could do it, and I remember not being able to use my abilities.
Maybe that's just a bug or something like that.
It could have been just a patch hit.
Yeah,
it could just be the fact that the ult does have like two different hitboxes. So like the range hitbox is just the dot, and the post range hitbox kind of looks like his RMB, and then you can throw the one out before you ult, so it still travels while you're ulting. So maybe it looks like he's throwing it. Perhaps.
probably.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I trust your judgment over mine, but I just wanted to bring up all the stuff that was in.
I've played him a few times. He gets banned a lot, but like I've played him a few times, and I feel like somebody in my chat would have hit me with the old backseat classic of like fire and tree abilities while you ult.
Probably, yeah.
I feel like I would have heard about that, but I could just be.
Yeah. Okay, well, something to figure out. But his kit is definitely very strong. They definitely keep adding like more and more things that these abilities can do, and between his awakened state and his regular state, adding on to those abilities, like some abilities are just like damage in a line from like old Paragon kits, and then this guy does like 8 different things with his root, where he gets to go on walls, and he gets to jump around, and he gets to jump down and stuff like that. So I I while I don't think necessarily his power kit is like bloated, it is definitely like some power creep that's happening in Predecessor, in my opinion, where it's just like the kits are just getting more intricate, and as the technology evolves for Omeda's development, it just kits just become more complex and they do more things. And I'm kind of hoping that eventually they come around to other characters and give them some like funner stuff to do, especially with like some augments and stuff like that. Like he has an augment that lets him jump twice with his web sling, which is crazy. The other augment, I'm not a fan of the one that like passively increases your passive there, but I I think some other characters kind of deserve this level of like depth put into it because they've obviously worked really hard on this character. I mean, it's the first non-bipedal character in Paragon and Predecessor, right? And so they've like improved this. I guess apart from Iggy, maybe Iggy counts as well. He's kind of bipedal, regardless. Um, so I think it is definitely a big step, but it's also maybe a sign to like revisit some of the other characters and rework them a little bit as you go along. Um, yeah, so I think that's kind of it for Akeron. There's like a few, like obviously we're not going to go through all the patch notes because we're just going to see drone on and on about numbers, and we're more about like the overall effect of the thing, of the hero itself. Along with this patch, I guess we can kind of switch it up a little bit and look at some of these skins that they introduced. They introduced a new battle pass. The battle pass includes a bunch of new skins, a bunch of opals, a bunch of cores, kind of the same as last time, but they introduced this new skin line, and it's available to November 25th, which seems like a lot shorter of a window than the last one. But I also know that they said that they put the date on there wrong, and they just kind of let it keep running, which was kind of a little bit of a mistake in my opinion, because there was definitely a lot of confusion when that sort of stuff came out. But I think the battle pass is pretty cool. Do you guys have any thoughts on the battle pass and or some of the skins that we'll kind of go through?
Shinbi has enhanced herself.
Yes, Shinbi definitely did get the Thunderbrush lick of paint. She definitely did get some attention, and like apart from the obvious thing in the room about this skin, which is the big boobas, I think this skin is Shinbi's best skin. Partly because I don't like her metal diapers that she wears on her other skins. But I guess we can kind of pass it over to Joey. Joey, what do you think about this skin? This is your wife, right?
Yeah, keep her name out of your mouth, first off. Second off, really the only like downside that I have to the skin, and like the skin is nice, I just don't get why literally all of the skins, and I mean all of them, just have like these like pantaloons on type things slash
The
like
butt
wings at the same
tassels.
time. Like I don't get literally all of them. Every single Gunner skin, the Countess one, this skin, the Yuri skin, all of them
Yeah.
have the exact same thing, and it's almost like they just kind of use the same model.
Oh yeah.
Which is like a little weird, but like at the same time, it's like, I mean, the skin is nice, but like it's like my or like nitpick.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I saw Nabori tweet about it where he's like, "What's with all these big butt skins having these weird tassels? Like it's like a
Yeah,
cape, but
somebody
not really a cape."
mentioned it, and now I just can't unsee. Like the phase wings, like once somebody mentions it, you just can't unsee it.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's not fixed, but like I just can't unsee. Every time I use like any of those skins now, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Oh, what happened to my There we go. Sorry. One thing about this skin that they got right is the wings are the correct orientation. Unlike the Countess skin, they
That
are
was a
the right.
design choice. The design choice.
That's a design choice.
It's an intentional design choice.
Bro, people were so confused and like messaging everywhere about like, why are these wings upside down? But I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's what
It's
they
an
want to do.
intentional design choice based on like some other game, etc. They showed some of the in the creator Discord. They showed some of the like concept arts of other games that have wings upside down.
Interesting. Interesting. That's good to know.
I still think it's weird, but
Yeah. All
at
right.
least it's
Let's be
intentional.
fair. I don't think many people are looking at the wings on the counter skin. I'm gonna keep it 100.
That's true. That's true. You're
Just
not wrong. These skins are in the game because they sell, and we all know why they sell. Another couple skins that we got a Wukong skin with a few recolors. This is kind of his like typical. You see this in a lot of other games where he's got the big feathers over his head. I haven't read Journey to the West. I assume that this one is pretty lore accurate, seeing as though so many games use this sort of style, like with the very like samurai style armor and stuff like that. I think it's a pretty good skin. I think it's better than his Shadow Ups one, in my opinion. But that's just me. Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the game that came out of the Black Myth Wukong. It kind of reminds me of that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
I like the aesthetic. I think it looks good. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, it's true to the character's lore, as well as it just looks clean. I mean, look at the shoulder pieces on him. I mean, I've always liked kind of like that samurai kind of look to him.
Yeah.
Even though I don't play the champ because I'm not smart enough to, but I mean, he just looks sick.
Yeah, I agree. The attention to detail on the skin is very, very nice. I 100% agree with that. And then another kind of one that we got a Twin Blast skin, Hasp. Do you have any thoughts on this skin? Because I do, but I'll let you go first.
Well, it's nice that we're giving the ladies something, and we're giving them a little chest action, you know. So, I mean, at least it started with the Narbash skin, of course.
The
sexiest
skin.
character in the game by far.
Yeah.
And thankfully, he doesn't have the side tassels that all the other ones do.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, I like this. I really like the guns on this one. I think his guns look sick.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I'm gonna be honest. I think I like everything about this skin, especially like when you're playing him and like watching him from the back. I know it's kind of cliche to watching him from the back. The back side of the skin looks very, very good, but I cannot get over this square chest window that they've got going. I just don't think it's like very well put together. Like normally it'd be like a V-neck or something like that, and this just feels like his vest doesn't fit him.
I mean, it's kind of a similar vibe to the summer skin, where he kind of has like that button up, kind of unbuttoned kind of vibe to it.
I think it wouldn't bother me as so much if it wasn't like connected at the collar. Like it's like it seems like it's like that's just like an open shirt, like Tommy Wahama's kind of wearing the nice shirt for it. But I think this is just a weird intentional design choice that, like, I mean, if you like the skin, you like the skin, you're gonna buy the skin. I'm probably not gonna buy this skin, but I just think it's weird. I just think it looks very, very strange. Soul, do you have any thoughts on this skin?
I don't really have any thoughts on it. I haven't even seen this skin like in game. Like I haven't played at all or anything like that. So I don't really have any.
Yeah, it's totally fair. Yeah, and then I think the last skin is the skin that came with Akeron's release, the Deity skin, which is very, very similar to Steel's skin, which I think is called Aegis Steel, which I think is kind of interesting that they didn't just like make it into like a skin line type of thing where they just like coat these characters in this bronze gold metallic and give them a little patina at the edges and stuff. I think the skin looks fine. Personally, I like his recolors more than this skin. I think the red recolor and the green recolor are very good recolors just to have on his base skin. Do you guys have any thoughts about this one?
I would say I think I just like his base skin. I mean the skin that you get, as the character. I mean, I think he has the best, base skin in the game. I mean, he doesn't really need a skin. He just looks dope inherently. Yeah. And you could slam some gold on him and make him look like a Roman statue. But yeah, I think, I just like the way he looks. I like the teeth coming and protruding from the chest, the eye. I mean, even on the menu, it follows your cursor. I like the horns. I mean, his base skin is pretty peak.
Yeah, I agree. I think the color composition they really nailed on this one. I feel like I talk about colors a lot, where it's like I really hate it when they just slap one color on a skin and call it a day. Like there's a few skins like the Wukong, Shadow Ops, the white variant, where it's just pure white. I think it's just very lazy, and I think they really took their time making him like his blue demon skin, and he's got red, and he's got gold, and he's got some oranges in there and stuff. I think they did a very good job of like coloring this character in and really kind of making him stand out. So I think that's pretty cool.
I think the only change I would add to Akeron is to center his chest in the middle of the thorax, or whatever you want to call it.
The sternum, yeah, right below.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because before this character came out, I was like, man, I would love to have like an Urgot type champ. Like that'd be so cool. For those of you that don't know, Urgot is a champion in another MOBA. I'm not going to say the name of the MOBA. I mean, I don't know if
you
I'm allowed
can.
to or
It's
not,
okay.
but okay.
You're
Well, League
good.
of Legends.
Yeah,
It's League of Legends. He's a champ in League of Legends, and I think he looks super cool. He's very, very spooky looking, and he's a very similar champ. But like instead of being like a horse type character makeup, he's centered, and he's like a kind of a ball looking thing, and his legs protrude from that. So I was hoping that he'd be more centered. That way, his character model wasn't so gigantic.
yeah.
I think that's why they also on the map made the hallways a bit bigger. Because man, I've either been body blocked on Akeron a good million times, or I am body blocking people and I don't even realize it.
Yeah.
I feel like if they would have centered him a bit more, it would have been not as massive, but he still looks cool as hell.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely like you get a few like if you get a Richter, a Steel, and an Akeron in the hallway, good luck getting through, man. Like it's
impossible.
This guy is massive. I'm kind of curious to see like I've never actually sat the characters next to each other, but I'm kind of curious to see like how he compares to Crunch in size, because Crunch is obviously the biggest character we had before him. And I'm obviously he might be built more down, like his center of gravity is obviously lower, so maybe that kind of creates an optical illusion for his size. But I'm kind of curious to see if this is like the biggest character they've released or not.
I would say the only thing bigger is Rampage when he's ulting. I think that's
Yeah,
the only thing that's
yeah.
bigger.
Giants
The
Ring,
man-
Saphir's Mantle, Rampage.
Yeah, dude. I remember when Giants Ring came out and I played Rampage. I slammed a Saphir's and a Giants Ring on him, and I remember I couldn't even walk through the stairs. And the character model was that massive, so I call it like going big mode.
Going big mode, yeah.
Going big mode. Lance, I play with Lance all the time, and we'll just be like, dude, I'm going big mode this game. I'm just building the biggest possible champion that I can, and so I have yet to do that with the Akeron, but I know now what I'm going to be immediately doing after this.
Yeah, 100%. So kind of we touched on it a little bit earlier. This patch also introduced a new world change. So basically, I can't remember when the seedlings spawn, but I think it's 16 minutes the Shaper will spawn, and once the Shaper is killed for the first time, world change will happen, which is a completely new thing to Predecessor. There'll be a bunch of new pathways opened up. There'll be rocks freaking falling from the sky. If you get hit by them, you take damage. So I'm kind of curious to see like what you guys think about this change. Obviously, it's a very big swing by Omeda, adding this in and completely just like uplifting the whole playstyle, because I'm sure this changes a lot in both the comp scene and casual scene. So Soul, I'm going to kind of pass it over to you. What do you think about this new addition? And do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? What do you think could be changed? Over to you.
As far as the neutral objectives, I do like the neutral objectives. I wish the map changes were just from the start of the game. Like, even if they still want to have that like animation come down, they just play that when you're loading in, like when you spawn in, like the animation comes down, whatever. It feels weird to like you play a 30-minute game, but you get to experience the map changes for 10 minutes out of the 30 minutes is just kind of weird. I do like the objectives though. The objectives are fine. I do think the map is a little small and it's very like congested now because it's like objective lane. There's not really like actual space in the jungle now, kind of in the river. It's just there's just always an objective there in one way or the other. But that can be adjusted in the future. I do think when the map actually opens up though, it does feel a little better in general. Just in terms of like traversing the map and like ways that you can path or like fight people around or juke abilities, things like that. It feels really good. For the most part, I would say I like the change, at least for like an initial change. I do hope they make the map change like for the entire game though, as opposed to
just as the game kind of starts. I definitely agree with that. I think that like once the world shift happens, the new pathways that open Ember Jungle really allow for a lot more movement, and it's not so predictable that if you're going by the 5 camp, you only have 2 exits, right? Like there's a million staircases that open up. There's more river entrances. I'd be curious to see how that would work, because like starting it from the beginning, I mean, basically just means you're playing a completely different map, right? Like there's no like starting from the regular stuff and shifting into it. So I'm kind of curious, a follow-up question as well. Like, have you played on this map in scrims and stuff like that? And if so, how has it kind of changed your guys' play style? If you're willing to share that, obviously, if you don't want to,
I have not played on it.
okay, 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 good to know, good to know. Mac, kind of same question to you. Like, this is a huge change by Omeda. What do you think is good? What do you think is bad? What do you think should be changed?
I mean, I think whether you started in the beginning or 15 minutes in, I think I like the map change. I'm just happy that there is a map change in general.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm a bit more of a. I'm just happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think whether the only thing is that if it were to start off the rip, I think that the fog wall behind the mid lane tower needs to only open up when the tower actually goes down, because at least in my experience so far, mid lane has been, oh my god, it's a 10-man rotation every, it feels like 5 minutes in the mid lane, and
Yeah,
it's
a war
very
zone.
very, yeah. Like when I remember, people used to say like the game, or not really used to say, but people would say that the game felt brawly, but like now, like with the seedlings being spawned at the 4 or 5 minute mark, the shaper spawning in at the 15. You have the Fangtooth, the mini primes. It feels very very brawly in the mid lane. I
Yeah.
feel like I always have to be on my P's and Q's at all times. So if you were to start the map change off the rip, I would just say like only open up that fog wall that's hidden kind of in that wall behind the mid lane tower to only
Yeah,
open
it
up when the
enters
tower
from
goes
blue
down.
side, I believe, right? Like, it
Yeah.
enters from those blue side stairs that overlook the
Because I'm
fields.
telling you, if that thing is, if you start off with the map change and I get hooked by a Richter from behind me, I'm going ham on my monitor. I'm gonna be mad. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now.
I would
Yeah.
say part of the like brawling feeling though is due to the fact that it is just changes, so people are just like kind of experiencing it. I think once it settles down a little bit, you'll have less of like the 10-man rotations. Like it'll be less of that, I think.
Yeah. I could see that. I agree with you, Mac, talking about like you're always being on your P's and Q's. Like, you're always playing for something, which I guess is, I mean, this is my first MOBA that I've ever gotten like super hard into, right? So maybe this is just a standard among other MOBAs, but like it feels like it's like almost overwhelming how you're like, there's all these decisions on like, you win it, you pick two people, and it's like, do you go for Seedling? Do you go for Fangtooth? Do you go for Mini Prime? Do you go for Shaper? Do you go for Big Prime? Do you go for Primal? Right? Like, ordering all these objectives is just like a lot of decisions back to back. And not to mention, like Soul was saying, like it does feel a little congested, especially with the size of the Shaper. I don't know why the Shaper is so freaking big. Like, that thing is like,
Bigger than Orb Prime, I'm pretty sure.
it's
Yeah.
The biggest
so
objective.
tall, and it's standing in this tiny little circle. It looks kind of funny. So it's definitely like a big shift up to the game, and like Soul said, maybe it'll settle down as people kind of figure out like what the proper order to do these things is, and that you don't need to just play a TDM in mid lane, because I've definitely experienced that, and I get that feeling as well. Hasp, you've played a little bit of this patch. What do you think of this new world change?
Yeah, just a little bit. And again, kind of like what Soul was saying, where people are just kind of, just 5-man rotating and brawling, just cause, I guess, just because it's a new patch and they just want a team fight for now. But yeah, the pace of the game, kind of like what you were saying. Like, I've played like 1, maybe 2 jungle games so far, and you're right. It does kind of feel a little bit overwhelming, just because there's always like an objective to go for. It seems like now.
Yeah.
Whereas before, if you get Fangtooth, you kill like 3 of them, and then you go get Mini Prime or something like that, then you're pretty much done. But now that you have the other neutral objectives by mid lane, like Max said, I mean, mid lane is just kind of a bloodbath now, at least in every game that I've been in. But again, that's only like 6 or 7 games that I've played so far. But overall, I think the map changes, just to kind of, again, echo what everyone else has been saying, at least we have some freaking map changes, because
Yes.
it's been almost 3 years of this game.
Yeah,
Which is
it's
kinda
3
wild.
years this December, which is nuts. I've been playing
And-
this. Never thought I'd be a one game person, but here I am 3 years later, still playing the same shit. You know?
And the map has had very little changes. They've lowered some walls,
They
adjusted
got rid of the
pits a little
skybox
bit.
a little bit on some
Yeah,
of them and stuff like
adjusted
that.
the skybox so you can be a little bit more vertical. But I like the new stairwells that open up. I like the meteorites, so you can kind of like hide behind them and just kind of set up jumping on people and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I still want some more pit changes with Fang and Brime. I don't really like team fighting in those pits, but I think overall, like, we're heading in the right direction. But I kind of agree with Soul. I kind of wish the map changes were just in there from the get go. But it is kind of cool to have like a little mini event in every match that you play.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said, I think one thing that I think could alleviate, and this is just an idea, and I could totally be wrong. Soul has Salsa. You can tell me I'm stupid if but I would like to be able to see like the actual Fang or be able to move. Like that way you
move
can kind
around
of pull,
the pit.
Yeah, like so if you aggro it, it's gonna come towards you, right? So like you can kind of pull it out of the pit just a little bit, and that way you're not forced to fight in it, or you can like I don't know. I feel like if you kind of widen the river just a bit, and then that way it kind of allows the objective to kind of move within the pit a little bit. I think that would be kind of maybe it could make it more congested. It could make it a bit less, but like that way, like you can kind of maybe pull it like say you're taking the objective and the opposite team is just sitting on the backside of the objective, right? It kind of makes it that steal chance a bit harder for them. Because you can like kind of pull the objective out just a little bit, and that way you're not just sitting in the back of the pit taking flames to the face from Fangtooth or what may have you, and that way it just alleviates that you're stuck in that pit feeling.
Oh yeah, I could see that being like an interesting change that they would try. I mean, obviously it would be something they'd have to test and see, but like I agree. Like now that you mention it, it's like why don't they move, right? Like I guess it's just the pit is only so small, but then that kind of runs back to their map is too small. Map is too small. They need to scale it up or whatever. So I think that'd be a cool change. I think the one last kind of thing to kind of touch on about this world change is the damn screen shake. I loathe this screen shake when it starts happening and you're in like if you take it and you're immediately in a team fight. Good luck hitting your stuff, man, because it's like 30 seconds of like your screen's just like freaking just like earthquaking around. You can't hit your shots. They need to turn it down or have a setting for it or something. I mean, I'm sure if they have a setting, people are just gonna turn it off. And I understand it's like for the effect, but man, it does not feel good to have that screen shake. Anyways, I digress on that point. Yeah, we kind of touched on the seedlings. We touched on the shaper a little bit. Look at this big goofy guy standing in his pit. I think his default pose is very goofy to me. I think he's just like he just looks like a chill dude, and you're just like invading his privacy.
It just looks like he's hanging out in his closet or something.
Yeah, he's kind of doing the like hi welcome to Chili's pose just a little bit with his hands and stuff like that.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Welcome to the river. I love you. He just looks like the Demogorgon and Malphite had a baby.
I don't know who
looks like
Malphite
to me.
is, but I
He
see.
looks like a Rancor from Star Wars.
Yeah, that too.
Earlier.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, he's just. I think he's too big. I think he's too big for that little circle. I think
His arms are gigantic.
Yeah,
Like he's
large.
he's touching the ground, man. He's got some big arms.
Yeah. And then obviously when you kill him, you get the lane seedlings, which is just more ways to push. I've heard people say that like these are OP. I know that's how Crazy Fool feels. I'm kind of curious to see like what you guys think about them. We'll kind of go through the same rotation. So do you think that these things need to be nerfed or changed in any way? These lane seedlings?
I would say the only like big thing is just make it a little bit more clear when it's going to do its special attack. It's kind of hard to like avoid it because you can't actually see when it happens. It just kind of does it. You know what I mean? Like there's
the special attack being the like burst that it does, like the AoE burst. Okay.
Yeah. That's like the only thing that I dislike about it. One of the balance factors I do like is that it just spawns instantly. Like it doesn't spawn with the wave. So if your waves are like really messed up, it will just die. So it should give you lane prio, but it's not guaranteed if your wave. Yeah. So I do like that.
Yeah, Mac, do you have any thoughts on these? Do you think they're strong? Do you think they're weak?
I think they are strong. But I think having the ability to kind of set wave prio and stuff like that to kind of snowball a bit harder, I think is nice. The only thing that it can make it feel awful is the location of where it's at, being right next to one of those fog walls, especially if you don't have that T1 down. That fight can feel very, very bad.
You mean fight on Shaper? right?
Yeah, the fight on
Yeah.
Shaper. Yeah. So like right where that fog wall is, the ledge. Yeah. So like if you don't have that T1 down, it makes the take like if you maybe have one pick, it still makes the fight a bit dicier because like unless you have a ward on that ledge, or like if you're playing into anyone that has AoE, which a lot of champs in the in the champion pool have AoE, it can make that objective take a bit more dicier. So it's just I feel like a lot of people underestimate kind of your positioning when you're taking that objective, especially with how that knock up AoE puts you in the air, Bellica pop up type animation that happens. Like it can put you in a very very precarious situation.
Yeah.
On the flip side, you can get hit by the Shaper, like in spots that you shouldn't be able to get hit. I feel like
Yeah.
you get hit around the corner, like on the step. You get hit while you're on top of the ledge. Like it hits you in a lot of spots that I feel like it should. And I
Yeah.
think that's just the placement. Like it doesn't. The shape of the abilities and like the AOE of the abilities, I feel like is fine, but map strengths, it just
Yeah. I've gotten hit by his knock up, like obviously behind this, there's the little ledge over to 2 camp. I've gotten hit like back there before. So it's yeah, it's definitely definitely a little goofy with its attacks as well. Yeah, that's kind of interesting because I haven't like seen the effect of seedlings, and maybe it's because like do they show up on the minimap as like a minion? I heard
it's
a
because they
yes and I
don't.
saw a no. Sorry.
It's a yes. It's just because they don't like spawn with the. So they just kind of go out immediately. So like
I
sometimes
see.
you just kind of miss.
I see. Okay. I'll have to pay attention to that more. I think it'd be nice if they had like a unique symbol. I don't know if they do,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm just like blind.
I don't think they. I don't think it's unique.
It's
No, it just looks like a
sorry,
minion.
just a regular minion. You see, like
Yeah.
on the enemy team, it'd be nice to like see that in a wave. Just see a little bug, like even if it's just like a bigger circle, or you make it a triangle or something. Just something so it's like unique, so you can kind of see it. Obviously, if they just took Shaper, you kind of know the bug is coming. But yeah,
No, I will say, like, I've had to calm, like, did we get the bugs in every lane? And then be like, I think we did. Well, left lane's pushing really hard right now. We should definitely check that lane. I think the bug is still there. And then
Oh, the
sure enough, I'll go
Okay.
check, and I'm like, yep, the bug's there.
It's the roach.
The roach, got it.
All right.
the
The roach
roach.
and Papa Roach. Okay.
The little guy, I love his little sound that he makes when he's running down the lane. I don't know if you guys have had like a calm moment to like follow the bug, but they do like a tick, 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 like it sounds like a little like Mr. Krabs almost like walking along. Kind of fun. There was obviously some rank changes as well. Kind of obviously the reset, kind of bringing everyone down 5 ranks. But there's also new changes to like how people can queue together, which I think has caused a lot of like 5-stack grinding to try and get back in there. Have you guys kind of run into this or yeah? Mac, why don't you go ahead? It seems like you got.
I mean, last night, I ran into the buzzsaw known as Tekken and Grady, both on my team and on the other team. It's I don't know. It can feel awful if you're on the other team. It can also it also just kind of feels a little unfair when they're when they're on your team.
Yeah.
That's why earlier I was saying I would rather see, instead of moving everyone back down 5 ranks and then all the like the 2000 VP Paragoners land at plot 1, I'm like, just minus them 500 VP. Let them climb higher. Like let them sit in their lobbies. We know that they're good. They're there for a reason. It's 11 V plus 11 minus 11. There's a reason why they're up there, right? They have, a 60 to 70% win rate. That's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you just minus the 500 VP in that way, it kind of alleviates the 3-4 stacks of the very skillful players. Like, Soul, I know day one, I think he was queuing with Creed and I forget someone else, but I would hate to run into that buzzsaw. And that's nothing towards Soul. They're very, very talented
For
players.
the record, I stopped
keep them up
queuing because
top.
we lost. For the record.
Oh, that's funny.
Nice.
Survivor, not a shimmy.
But like, they're extremely talented players. I'm not going to be mad at if they're still a Paragon. If I get knocked down to plat 1, whatever, it's cool, it's fine, I could grind back up. But I mean, those top 50 players, it's a whole nother level of playing. And especially if you're, someone who's, especially when that rank reset happens and you're getting golds in your team and some plats and maybe a little sprinkle of diamonds. I mean, I played match today, and I play rank kind of casually. And I mean, I was having paragons in my lobby today, and I was like, dude, like, man, y'all need to go touch grass, man. Like, I'm still plat. Like, I'm this is like my 10th rank game of the split. Y'all already paragon. Why are you in my match? Get out of here.
Yeah. And kind of the flip side of that, like how do you feel about this approach, Soul, of the ranked reset? Like, what would you think of that minus 500 VP? Because for me, I would think it'd be like, it wouldn't really it'd put you back like a rank or two back into Diamond, because most of you guys have like 200 VP in Paragon. But
I think it's like not the solution that you think it is, Mac, to be honest with you. For one, I don't think it actually affects that many people. Two, like I don't think they reset internally anymore. Wrong, but I'm pretty sure they don't reset internally anymore. They just kind of lower by a certain amount. I think a bigger problem is just the fact that like they should have rank skipping. So like, if you or like Hasp was saying, he's like he hasn't played really last split, so he's back in bronze, but he's playing with like gold players. Like if he promotes from bronze, he should just skip to like gold 3 or something, and then he's a little bit closer to where his actual rank is. Would solve that issue, and then also having an extra rank like an emerald or a master's rank in between Paragon would help. I think those two things would help a lot, and then the 5 stacking. I think 5 stacking between bronze and gold is fine. 5 stacking from platinum to diamond, I think, is terrible.
Yes.
From platinum to diamond, it should be duo queue only, and then Paragon should be solo queue exclusively. And then like the lower ranks, like gold to bronze, nobody cares if you 5 stack your bronze players. If you're worried about a 5 stack of bronze players, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
you got different issues.
yeah, you got different issues. Yeah, so that's good to know. Like, good to see kind of the flip side of it, like kind of that proposed solution and stuff. So I definitely agree with the 5 stacking, like plat to diamond stuff. I think that is wild that you can 5 stack all the way up to diamond.
Yeah.
And especially with like how they changed, like it's not just 3 ranks anymore. It's like bronze players can queue with anybody in up to gold, right? So if you're
Yeah,
bronze
I
3,
think that's
you
a
can.
good system, though. I actually like that change. That's a
You
good
do like that change? Okay, that's
a lot
good.
of people in like those ranks tend to be like in those ranks, so they just want to play with their friends, and that's how
Yeah.
you get them to play, ranked over standards, basically, which I think is fine. That
Okay,
doesn't bother me at all.
that's fair. That's totally fair.
Like, and if you're worried about 5 stack of bronze players, you got different issues. And if they're playing in a 5 stack, you can't complain about like, oh, these gold players have a bronze on their team. They're choosing to play with them. You know what I mean?
That's totally fair. I get that. Hasp, do you have any comments on the rank system? I don't know if you've played a lot of ranked lately, but what do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, yesterday I just played like 6, 7 games, something like that.
Okay.
I agree with Soul. I think letting bronze players stack up to with gold players is probably a good idea. Like your common player is going to be on average probably silver and gold, that range. And if they're bringing in new players, you want them to be able to play in pretty much any game mode. So I think that is probably one of the better things for like newer players, just being able to play in every single game mode once they obviously reach rank, what is it, 20 or level 20 or 10 to play
I think it's
ranked
level
matches.
20 is
20.
It's
Yeah.
level 20, and you have to have X amount of champs unlocked as well.
Yeah.
That sounds
So,
fun. Yeah.
once they reach that threshold and they can finally enter ranked, then it's probably a good thing that they can just play with the lower ranked players that, aren't plat or above. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that the kind of last thing I want to touch on for the patch here, and you guys can bring up some other stuff after this kind of point. The recall speed. They changed the recall speed from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. That's 2-second shift, and that's a lot, right? I've heard a lot of people saying that this change needs to be reverted. But I'm kind of obviously curious to see what you guys have to think. So, Soul, I'll pass it over to you again. Do you think this needs to be reverted? Do you like this change? What do you think about it?
So there's two things with this. It's not just the back timing. It's that you could also leave the fountain earlier because you get
Mm.
regen when you leave the fountain. So it's actually like two things that result in this like faster gameplay. Both of which I actually like in terms of the changes. They do make the game feel better. But due to the fact that they have jump pads, which in my opinion was already a problem, it's now a little bit too much. I think they should keep the backs the way they are. They should keep the fountain the way they are because I think they're better quality of life changes and they feel better for the game. And they should just remove the jump pads. In my opinion, I think that's a much better solution and it solves the game, the issue that people are complaining about way better in my opinion.
Yeah.
Plus, they gave us an extra jump pad now too.
Yeah, I was about to
Correct,
say,
yeah.
yeah, the
Correct,
mid
yeah.
jump pad. So that kind of comes back to Mac's earlier point of like mid lane just being a war zone because you can get there 2-3 seconds faster every time, right? So people are missing less waves, which means you're in lane for more of the game, which means there's just more opportunity to get ganked, to gank, have team fights, stuff like that. So Mac, kind of same question, like these recall timers, people don't talk about reverting them. What do you think?
I have been abusing the crap out of it, and not because I think it's a good thing. I think it's so stupid. I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm not gonna lie. The game I was talking about earlier, where I was like, why am I playing into these Paragoners? Like, bro, go touch some grass. I was playing into a Paragon Wraith in the mid lane. I was playing as Howie, and I was like, this is not fun. I don't like this. And so I literally just I just go up to the wave, kit dump it, and then I lose half my health because I walked up and I happened to be in shooting range, which happens to be behind my turret, by the way. And then I would just turn around, back, reset, buy another item, and then come right back. And I'm like, you can't kill me if I just keep resetting. Like
Only missed a
I'm
few minions. Yeah, you're
no,
good.
I'd walk up to a fresh wave. I'm walking up with the wave. I'd kit dump it in 0.2 seconds because I'm playing Howie. I just throw RMB Q, and then if I need to throw in my E, then I throw in my E, and then I just back reset, and then I'm right back in the action. I have full health. Just bought an item. What's up? How you doing? Like there's been a lot of times where like I will punish somebody and like they're 1 HP in the back of the turret, and I'll kind of take the stairs route to get over, behind them to hit a rocket, and then I'll narrowly miss it because I'm like, they should still be here, and I'm like, nope, I missed it by half a second because I forgot the recall timer is now 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So I've been abusing it, not because I think it's a good thing. I think it's awful. I revert it or get rid of the jump pads, one of the two.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, a swing and a miss by Omeda, but I'm at least happy that they're trying these things, right? Like same with the map changes. Like it's good that they're fucking trying it and it's out there. We know that it doesn't really work. I think most of us can agree that it doesn't work. I think that's like I said, I think it's great that they're taking at least big swings. So there was a long period of this game where they just didn't take big swings, and we just sat there playing the same champs on the same map with the same buffs, the same timers for a long time. So I kind of want to pass it over to Hasp here just to kind of see like if you guys have any other points from the patch you'd like to bring up, any sort of sore spots, new things I might have missed.
Being able to slam both your health pots at the same exact time is awesome. Thank you. That's amazing. I love it. I think nobody's talking about it. I think it's phenomenal.
Okay, that's a good point. I definitely forgot about that one, but yeah, okay. So Souls, what do you think about that as well? Like being able to double pot. You think it's good? Think it's bad?
I've been asking for that for pretty much since the game came out. It was very silly. You get poked to 10% HP. You kind of just want to pop both your pots before you had to wait 25 seconds to pop your second one. Sometimes you just forget to, or like you pop it later, you lose the healing. It was very annoying. Which is a good quality of life change. I've been asking for that for like 3 years.
And just to clarify, because I don't think I've actually like tested it. So when you pop your 2 pots, you're getting the effect of both the pots over like the same kind of duration if you pop them back to back, or are they like stacking? So you get like
it just stacks the timer.
It just stacks the timer. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. I kind of figured it wasn't like a faster burst heal, but I mean, you always gotta ask, right? Soul, do you have anything of the patch that you kind of want to bring up, or anything predecessor related, I guess?
I think that's most of it. I think we went over most of the patch, so nothing else really to it other than PCC in a couple weeks. That's
well,
fun.
isn't it next weekend, right? That's
I
guess
2 weekends for EU, and then NA is the weekend after that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. So check out PCC, obviously, on the Predecessor game channel. Woo! They got on the Predecessor game channel. Obviously, that was a while ago, but we always got to congratulate Choice and the boys for making it big. So that's super cool. Hasp, do you have any last questions for our wonderful guests?
No questions, but just kind of some comments about the patch, just things that I thought were a bit weird. Attack speed on augmentation, that's just kind of strange to me. And buffing Ure. Interesting decision. But it's their game. They can do what they want.
Yeah, that's totally fair. They definitely, like, their balance changes for heroes definitely did feel a little weird. Like the change to Rena, the change to Ure when they were already like pretty strong champs is kind of wild. But I think they also counteracted it by like changing Feng Mao quite a bit, right? Wraith obviously gained a bunch of stuff, like he got buffed all over the board. I haven't seen that many Wraiths, but I've been told the horror stories of Paragon Wraiths on this ranked reset. Mac is staring daggers at me through the camera.
Mac's kind of scaring me right now.
There we
It's
go.
awful. I hate Wraith.
He's
Bolt that
flashing back
character
to the
from the
Howitzer
game.
game. Yeah.
You know what? You know what my problem is of this game? Wraith. Vault that character. Do it. I hate that champ so much. It is not. I think Soul said it in the stream the other day. He goes, I don't think anyone has ever said the statement, man, I enjoy playing into Wraiths. It is awful. I hate it. It is so awful. Like, oh, I'm sorry that I stepped back into Wave, sir. I lost half my health bar. My apologies.
Just dodge it, man. Just dodge it.
Dude, I be hitting the shimmy shuffle. I be doing the cha-cha slide, and I'm getting hit by everything. It sucks. I'm hitting the, he won't expect me to keep moving left strat, and I get hit, and it's awful. It sucks. Bolt that character from the game. Get rid of Wraith. I hate him, or just rework him. I hate Wraith so much. Omeda, if you're listening, please remove that champ.
I feel like he just gets touched every single patch, and it's almost like they just don't really know what to do with him.
Yeah,
Bro,
they
he
keep
just
turning
keeps
him up,
getting
turning him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He keeps getting buffed. It's awful.
He
Please.
unfortunately has the difficulty of having to actually aim, which a lot of players can't in this game. So he just has like the lowest win rate in the game. So they just keep buffing him for no reason, even though he doesn't need it. And then he's also very uninteractive. So not fun when he's good. So like when people are good at the game playing him, it's extremely unfun. Not a character I think they should buff for the average player. I think they should just let him have the lowest win rate like this.
Games are allowed to have characters that are only for high-end players. Like you're allowed to have a complex kit that's hard to play, but is rewarding for the skill that you put into it.
His kit's not even complex. Like it's not hard because it's complex. It's hard because you just have to actually aim in anyway.
Yeah, except for controller players, they don't have to aim on race snipe.
True.
They got that auto lock on.
True. They'll cope. They'll cope though.
They'll cope.
Fix auto aim, Omeda, please.
That would be amazing because
it's
you see some of the clips, and I mean, like we're not calling anybody out or anything like that, but you see some clips where some people post them online, and that you can see it like dragging their cursor up to every hero. It blows my mind, and I'm like, what kind of player would I be if I had to aim 10% less?
Right? Like I'm in the Facebook, Predecessor Discord group. If that
Not
tells
the
you my age.
Facebook page.
I'm in there. I'm in there like swimwear. Okay, and I see people post clips all the time, and I the first thing I'll comment is just like, holy fucking auto aim. Like I just see the auto aim doing 90% of the lifting, and I'm like, dude, like. You think this is a great clip, but I just see auto aim doing all the work for you. Like this is awful. I hate this.
Yeah.
I mean, Wraith is one thing, but also Skylar and Twin Blast Ult are annoying too with the auto aim.
Yeah, the Skylar beam is pretty.
It's one of the most gross things I've seen in any game.
It's just like it just sticks to you, and then no matter where you move, it just follows you because you can't move fast enough.
Like I used to be a pretty big advocate for aim assist. Like I understand the premise of it, but like a game that I always like to reference where like aim assist is too strong is like Apex Legends, right? Apex Legends is a really fun game. It's a great game. That's where I started playing a lot of competitive games. Like when I started traveling for LANs, it's a great game. I love it. However, when you look at like the top 100, top 500 players, and out of those 500, maybe 10 of them play on PC, and the other 490 of them are on controller, it tells you that like the aim assist is really strong, and it's a very, very strong thing. And I'm like, and when I played that, and then when I come to Pred, the aim assist almost feels stronger than Apex. And it's just like, there's sometimes where I'm like, is this person hacking? Or is this person like just have that good at aim assist? Especially on Wraith. Like there's some times where like I'm getting blind sniped. And I'm like, is this guy cheating? Or there's no wards around me. Like there's no, I'm not standing on any type of vision. And it's super, super strong. And like, that's like when I'm running into a controller Wraith, like the two big things, like that's where I'm like, dude, please stop. This is awful.
Yeah, I agree. It is an epidemic, let's call it. but yeah, I think overall, I mean, just talking about like Predecessor in general, like in its state, I'm glad they're taking swings. I think the new hero is sweet. The world changes are cool that we finally got something. I think overall, it's a W patch, but there's always more room to grow, right? So we'll see what they do with 1.9 and the patches that kind of come in between it, which would be 1.8.1, I guess. So we'll kind of see. We'll kind of see how it goes from there. So as we kind of get into our outros here, I kind of want to pass it over to Soul. I mean, like everybody who's watching this probably already knows who Soul is, but I want to give him a chance to shout out his socials. His new profile picture made by Ocho, very beautiful profile picture. I think it looks amazing. So go ahead, Soul. You can kind of shout out your stuff.
Yeah, you can just find me at my name on pretty much every platform. I don't use TikTok though. You won't find me there. Other than that, same name: YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Reddit, even if you use that godforsaken site. You can find me there pretty much everywhere. I will say, as far as like 1.9, I don't expect too much because it seems like they're going in this every other patch cycle thing where it's like 1.4, 1.6, 1.8. So
Yeah,
I'm really
okay.
looking for like 1.10. I think 1.9 might just be kind of like a middling patch. I think.
Okay, that's totally fair. That's good to know. Yeah. Yeah, so that's awesome. Check him out on all his socials and stuff like that. Mac, I know you stream from time to time. Go ahead. You can shout out your stuff.
Yeah, I stream on Twitch from time to time. If you want to see some really shitty, mediocre gameplay and me rage from time to time, you can follow me on Twitch. I do somehow make it to Paragon every split so far. So if that says anything about how awful it is, how low the bar is to get into Paragon, that should tell you. I do desk analyst as well as observing for PCC. So if you're ever watching the PCC and you're seeing some sweet visuals, it might be me. So pay attention. Make sure you go watch.
Yep.
You can
He was
also
at the
find me
LAN.
on.
He was
I
doing
was
some observing at the LAN too.
I
Yeah.
was at LAN, and that was a hell of fun. You can find me on Twitter. I do not use that app, but if enough people follow me, I can start using it. And then I have TikTok. I used to make a lot of Warzone related content when I used to be a content creator for that. I'm about to start making some predecessor type of content for the TikTok. So if you want to see some stupid meme type stuff, then feel free to follow me over there. Other than that, to bounce off what Soul said, I think I was talking to Smokey at LAN, and he said that the even patches tend to be they want to
The big
make
ones.
even the big ones. Yeah. So the
Okay.
1.9 is kind of the balancing, the focus on the balancing, and then the evens are kind of like the where they add something big to the game.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. And then kind of passing over to Hasp again. Like, do you have any final remarks for our guests here?
No, just we appreciate you guys coming on. Thanks for taking the time. Hopefully you had a good time. But W patch overall, I think game's heading in a good direction, and yeah, hopefully map changes are just a sign of things to come. So yeah,
Beautiful. Awesome. Yeah, well, check them out on their socials. We're going to keep it all in the description. If you missed this live episode, it's going to go up on our YouTube and Spotify. On YouTube, it's SecretSalsa. On Spotify, it's Predecessor Protocol. Check those out. Otherwise, have a great rest of your guys' day, and we'll catch you guys next time. See you later, guys.